Hi everyone, welcome to the masterclass, or you can call it a workshop, or you can call it a webinar, which is called 8 Meditation Myths, All You Need to Know About Meditation Benefits. So please bear with me since I'm really not a tech savvy, so I have to switch between the sharing the page and between my face, so you can know who you are dealing with here. All right. Hi there. My name is Amara. If you want to know my full name, it's Amara Marina Mashenkulova. And who am I? Actually, you can read about me on my website, humandesignu.com. I'm a writer. Just recently launched my first book. It's on meditation and human design. So I'm also a human design and Gene Keys specialist, reader, practitioner, coach, teacher, and speaker. And I'm definitely a meditation facilitator. And I'm just a person who likes life in all its representation, let's say. And this is really important because our today's webinar will be exactly about this. Why there are so many different things that people speak about meditation, and a lot of things which are not true even closely, because I get a lot of questions about what is meditation, why should I meditate, etc., etc. So I compiled it into 8 main meditation myths that I come across mostly, and I'd like to discuss each one of them with you. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Let me just show you the first myth. Please bear with me. And this is the first myth that I come across a lot. Meditations don't suit me. You see, I'm a worldly person. I cannot say that I've ever had this myth in my life, because for me, meditation came really naturally from very early on. I mean, practically, I've been practicing more than 15 years, but technically, I've been practicing since I was a child. Just as a child, I did not know that these things that I was practicing were meditations. Only later on, I found that out. So this is one of the most common myths that I'm coming across when it comes to meditation. So a lot of people think that meditation is not for our day-to-day life. And this is where I would like to share a story with you. When I came to India for the first time in 2014, I cannot say that I've been searching for my path, because I have been doing that since I was very, very young. So I came to India because I couldn't not come. I wanted to come here since I was a child, and it's another story of mystery on its own. And I met a lot of different teachers, different gurus, different paths, let's say, during my stay in India. And I've been traveling quite a bit. And then when I came across Osho, I immediately jumped in, because I've been reading his books way before I came to India. And at first, a lot of things that he was saying, I was really mad. I did not agree with him, but I kept on reading. I don't know, I couldn't put away his books. And then I started playing Osho Zen cards. Then I started spreading it all over my country and other countries wherever I went. And then I came to India, and I ended up in the ashram. I still call it ashram, even though it's called resort right now. But there was a time, day before I decided to take sannyas, Osho sannyas. Sannyas means when I decided to become an Osho follower and take a spiritual name. I find out that Alma, another saint, Hagin saint, came to the town, to the city where I was staying. And I really wanted to see her for quite a long time. And my friend said, let's go and visit her. So to cut the long story short, when I came to Alma, and when I finally got my hug, I mean, she's famous for giving hugs to people and blessing them in different ways. So when I got my first hug, she started saying something into my ear, some really strange syllables. And then something extraordinary happened to me. All of a sudden, there was this big fuss around, and people started saying, you have to put her on the stage. Amma said to put her on the stage. So apparently, Amma said something and gave me something which made her disciples, her close people, made for them clear that she invited me to sit with her on the stage. I was really shocked, but obviously I followed. So I sat down then next to Amma, and I sat there for an hour, and I was told that she invited me to personal darshan the next day. And what a coincidence that the next day I was planning to take sannyas in Osho resort. So I was contemplating, and then I thought, okay, you cannot turn down an invitation from the same person. So I said, yes, I will come to Amma next day. So the next day I didn't do Osho sannyas. I went to Amma again, and I got a hug from her again. And while I was sitting there, I was looking at her disciples, and I realized that my heart was longing to go back to Osho. So I left without waiting for my personal darshan. I felt kind of sad because of that, because I would love to sit in Amma's aura for as long as I could. But next day I went back to Osho resort. And even though Osho is not in his body anymore, I was just sitting there and enjoying my breakfast. And I don't know, I felt everything there is to feel. And I realized that this was some kind of a test. So I stayed. And the next week I took Osho sannyas, and that's how I became Amara. And my name is a totally different story. I had an epiphany about it as well, but this is not the point. So why am I telling you this story? Why did I come to Osho? Because he was the one who exactly told me this. Meditation suits you because you are a worldly person. Meditation suits you because you have to live the life that you were given. That it is very easy to be meditative when you are sitting in Himalayas and there is no world to distract you, right? But meditation is needed in our day-to-day life. And I'll be telling you more about this as we go further with our myths, okay? So right now, let me change and let me show you the next myth. Just let me figure this out first, okay? And here we go again. So this is the second myth. The second myth is, I need a lot of time and separate space to meditate. And guess what? I don't have neither or either. I don't know, my English has an accent, so you'll forgive me. So this is something really common, and probably you recognize yourself too. And by the way, I want to really thank you for taking time, for finding time and being here tonight with me. So let me start with one old Zen saying that I just love repeating and love telling to everybody, and first to myself, because every road, let's say, starts with ourselves. And the old saying goes, old Zen saying goes like this. If you have time, you should meditate every day for half an hour. If you don't have time, you should meditate for at least 1 hour. So if you have time, half an hour. If you don't have time, for at least 1 hour every day. So what does it mean? Let me just put it really bluntly for you guys. If you don't have time to meditate, if you don't have time for yourself, let's forget about meditation. If you don't have time for yourself, which meditation is, you don't have a life. And if you start telling me about how busy your life is and how nobody is understanding you, how complicated it all is. So let me just stop you right there, because look everywhere else. Everybody's life is complicated. Everybody's life is complex. Just because you think it is not complex, it is not so. And if presidents find time to meditate, if CEOs and billionaires find time to meditate, if really, really, really busy moms find time to meditate, you can find the time too. I don't think you're busier than the president or mom. And just recently, I held this meditation challenge that was for, I called it Russian edition because it was for Russian-speaking people. And I prepared all these videos, and it was 21 days, 21 meditation techniques, all different techniques for all kind of purpose and reason. And the participants were very diverse. First of all, they were all over Russia, and Russia, you know, is the biggest country in the world. And even few of them were from abroad, from Europe. And all these people, they had probably one thing in common, almost all of them. They were newbies to meditation. They've never done it, and they had a certain understanding about what meditation is. And all of them were really busy people. These were judges, prosecutors, housewives, psychologists, moms of 3 and 4 kids, fathers, and a CEO of a really big company, and who else? A designer, an illustrator, editor-in-chief. So there were really people from all different kind of backgrounds there. And guess what? They took this challenge. All they had to do is find the time for themselves. The time that they, without this challenge, they couldn't afford. Let's say they felt they couldn't afford taking this time because some of them felt guilty. Some of them felt like, oh my God, how can I take this time for myself if my child needs me, you know? But your child needs a healthy mother. Your child needs a happy mother. And meditation is all about finding your happiness, your health, your sanity. So this is really important. So all these people who participated in the meditation challenge, they were really busy people, but they took this challenge, as I said, and yes, I cannot say that it was easy. They did struggle sometimes because they had to find at least 1 hour. Sometimes it was 5 minutes, sometimes it was half an hour, sometimes it was 1 hour, but no more than that. But they had to find this time, and that's why it was a challenge. And I said in the beginning that it will not be easy because we are not used to giving the time to ourselves, especially if you're a busy person. If you were not born with this, how do you say, golden spoon in your mouth, we do have to do things on a daily basis, right? So what meditation does, actually, it gives you that time, no matter how funny it sounds, because once you find the time for yourself, it increases your capacity to do things. It opens actually your eyes to the things that matter in your life. It helps you to prioritize more. So if you really think that you need a lot of time, so maybe you do, but if you really want to look at this myth, you don't need a lot of time. Sometimes all it takes 5 minutes to change your life, 5 minutes a day. It does take regularity, that I will not lie. It is not like you meditated for 1 hour one day, or you meditated for 10 minutes for 1 month, and that's it. You are it for life. No. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later in one of the myths, because there is something really important there to understand, okay? So let's look right now at the next myth, and let me find it here. And myth number 3 that I come across a lot is meditation does not work for me. I've tried, thank you very much. Does it sound familiar to you? So if this is something that is familiar to you, I would like to ask you, when you tried to do it, did you do your best? Because sometimes, and most of the time, all it takes in life is to do our best in whatever it is. So did you do your best? Just honestly in front of yourself, because nobody is judging you. I'm definitely not judging you, because believe me, I cannot say that I'm always doing my best, and this is my quest. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because this is something that I came across too, and this is something that I come across on daily basis. And on daily basis, this is a challenge for me. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's hard, but I still go on, because I do believe if there is one thing to learn in life, it is meditation. Because from that point, everything in your life changes in the best possible way, specifically for you. Not like for everyone else, but specifically for you. So if you did try, did you do your best? You know, there's a funny thing about this word try. Many years ago, I was walking in the woods with my friend, with whom I used to discuss a lot of things about spirituality, about life purpose, blah, blah, blah. And when she asked me something like, did you do this? I said, yes, I tried. And she stopped right there. She's like, what do you mean you tried? I said, I tried, but it didn't work. Then she stopped. She took off her sunglasses and she said, now try to take these glasses from me. So I reached out to take the glasses. She reached back. She's like, no, try. So I tried again. She took it back. So I couldn't reach. No matter how many times I tried, I couldn't reach the sunglasses. She said, this is what happens when you try. When you try, you don't actually do. You cannot try things and say that you did your best, because you can either do it, I took the sunglasses, or you don't do it, I didn't take the sunglasses. Trying is actually an excuse. And later on, I started coming across this trying word in many, many spiritual teachings, like in Theta Healing, in all kinds of places. So now I'm trying to eliminate this word from my life. And a lot of times I can say that I achieved it, because trying is such a beast. It doesn't want to go anywhere. So don't try. Don't say you tried meditation. Just do it, or don't do it. I mean, it's honest. It's much more honest than trying to do something. I have some notes here, so let me just look at my notes. And then I wanted to look at this first phrase, like meditation doesn't work for me. Like, if you ever tried meditation, have you set any intention before you started doing meditation? Like, I want to do this meditation for the meditation's sake, for example. That's a lot of times for people who are not accustomed to meditation. This is their intention. This is what it looks like. So do we need to meditate for meditation's sake? I mean, nobody cares if we meditate or not. Everybody cares if we're nice, if we're loving, if we're empathic. Nobody cares if I spend 5 hours a day meditating or 20 minutes, right? Everybody cares if I do my work correctly, in a good way, if I'm nice to people, if I'm a good human being, etc., etc. So meditation for meditation's sake is not what we're trying here. Meditation for meditation's sake is just another conditioning, let's say, in our life, which we do not need. We already have quite a lot of conditions that we are trying to get rid of, right? So meditation, for us, when we do meditation, we need to set intention. For example, if I'm doing Nataraj meditation, that's a dancing meditation, my intention is to let go of all the emotions that I have accumulated today or in the last week, for example, that I've been pondering on and they've been boiling in me. So my intention is to let go. So my intention is not to do Nataraj meditation. My intention is, through this meditation, I want to achieve emotional release. So when you say meditation doesn't work for me, it's because you didn't do it. You didn't try. So there is no such word. You just didn't do it, okay? So what else here? let's go to the next myth. And we continue. So the myth number 4 goes, I need to live in the ashram in order to meditate. Don't you see, it's not my case. So I love this one, because let me tell you in very short way, when did I start to meditate? Yes, obviously I've been in many ashrams over the last 5 years, mostly Indian ashrams, different kinds of ashrams. But my meditation path started so many years before that. Let me just tell you a couple of stories. When I was 16, I was an exchange student in the US, and I lived with a beautiful, beautiful family, American family in Massachusetts. And I went to high school, I graduated. So one day I was coming back from a fitness center where I was going. I had problems with weight at the time, as a teenager, you know. So I was 16 years old. I was coming back from fitness center, and I saw this little church. Well, you have to know a little bit about my background. I come from a Muslim background. I come from a very small town on the south of Russia, which is a Muslim community, but we are more like Sufi community. So I go to the US at a very young age after being in this small little town, and I see a church. So what does a Muslim girl who is conditioned only to be a Muslim do? What should I do? I should just pass by, right? But I saw this church and I couldn't take my eyes off it. I didn't see that it was a church. It was just some kind of medieval castle. This is what it seemed to me like. I went inside. It was completely empty. There was no priest there, no any other people. So I just sat there on the bench. And I don't know what it was, but that feeling came to me. A lot of times later on, when I started consciously meditating, this feeling came back to me again and again, because that time when I was 16, I know now what it was. I know that I had this, how do I call it? I mean, in Russian I know how to call it, but in English, I had a light bulb flashing in my head. Or no, it was some kind of silence that opened in me, and it was so spacious. It was so big, and it was so empty and beautiful. I cannot put it in different words. So I was just awestruck. And I was just sitting there and feeling that. And that was my, later on I realized that was meditation that came upon me. That was awareness, that kind of awakening, that moment of serenity came over me. So, and I was not in ashram. So believe me, the moment of meditativeness can come over you in the most unexpected places. And the idea why we should meditate is not in order to carry the meditation with us, but in order to reach this meditativeness in every single thing that we do. And we'll talk about it later as well. Let me just tell you another story. I was 5 years old, and I remember as I was lying in my little bed, and I was talking with each of my organs. I was talking with my toes. I was talking to them, and I was making the tingling sensation in each and every toe. And it was so fascinating for me. And the more I was creating those tingling sensations, the stronger it got. And since I was a child, I did not know how to get rid of the tingling sensation. So I was crying after I played with my finger and with my toes. I couldn't stop that feeling. So that was also a form of meditation. And guess what? I was not in ashram. And before I went to India, I was meditating quite a lot in the buses, in the subways, at the anniversary of my friends while sitting at the table. So believe me, the situations can be so different. And it's just our misunderstanding about what meditation is brings us to this myth. Because you don't need to live in ashram in order to meditate. You can be anywhere. You can be everywhere. and meditation can be and should be a part of your life. Okay, so let's go to another myth. Because please stay with me, because after we learned all the myths, we will do meditation. Okay? And the myth number 5. Only enlightened people meditate, or yogis. And I'm a broker, housewife, manager, president, athlete, etc. So I come across this mythology quite a lot. Probably this is one of the most popular ones. So first, let me tell you that meditation and yoga are completely two different separate subjects. I mean, meditation is indeed a part of yoga. I mean, you cannot just do yoga without meditation, because then yoga becomes just a discipline, just an exercising. But about that, any good yoga teacher will tell you, and I'm not that. I do yoga sometimes, but that's not really my discipline. But meditation on its own, when you do meditate, it doesn't mean that you have to do yoga. These are completely different things, okay? So it's settled. Then only enlightened people meditate. It's really interesting because enlightened people don't meditate. I mean, they don't meditate anymore because they don't need it. Enlightened people are it. They are already there. Because as I said before, why do we do meditations? We don't do meditations just because we need to meditate and it's some kind of a, like brushing your teeth, you have to meditate and you don't know why you have to meditate. I mean, you meditate to reach the quality of meditativeness, which will be with you no matter what you do. If you are working, if you are enjoying life, if you are having fun with your friends, if you are going somewhere, if you are watching a movie and everything. So in every single activity that you do, if you bring in the meditativeness, then you have the life in a different quality, in an amazing quality. It's when awareness is in every single action that you do, then you feel more pleasure, then you feel more receptive to people, then you feel more compassionate, then you feel more loving, then you just feel more accepting, and you are more fulfilled, you are more successful, you are healthier, stress-free. I can go on and on. So this is why we do meditation, because at some point we'll have to drop the meditation and we have to become it. I'm not saying that you have to become an enlightened being, because this is not something to aim for. Enlightenment, it happens all of a sudden. It is not a goal. But what I'm saying is, when you meditate, the more you meditate, the more meditation comes into your life when you don't meditate, because it becomes a part of your life. It becomes a part of your day-to-day activity. And this is really important again. Don't think that only cuckoo people or enlightened people meditate, because they don't anymore. They don't need it anymore. But you and me, we need it. I still need it. I still do meditate. And I still enjoy it. And yes, sometimes it brings me pain, depending on the technique that I do. Not physical, but emotional. And sometimes I feel I don't need it, because all day I can be in meditation. So these days happen to me more and more, and I love that. Okay, let me look at my notes. About famous people. A lot of famous people, and I'm writing, I actually dedicated a whole chapter in my book about this, that I've written about meditation and human design. I dedicated a whole chapter on famous people who do different meditation techniques. And during the meditation challenge that I'll announce at the end of the masterclass, after we do the meditation, this is the technique that we're gonna do during meditation challenge, which is probably the most famous meditation technique that Madonna, David Lynch, Hugh Jackman, and many, many other people, celebrities do. So if they find time, if they do it, don't you think they have better things to do? they do, they find time for this because they know how important it is. Okay? And actually, I told you about this already. So don't think that meditation is to stay in your life as crutches, but think that meditativeness is the outcome that we need. And for that, we do need to practice it daily, okay? And I don't want to sound dogmatic. It's just something so profound for me and so simple that I've made my life's goal to spread it as far as I can. And I have friends who are doing the same, and I do hope that you're gonna do it too, that you're gonna spread it further, because that's the idea, to make this world a meditation place. And that's the world where everything is peaceful, everybody is happy and healthy. And yes, it might sound like utopia to you right now, but I've seen glimpses of it. I've seen glimpses of it in my life and in the life of people that I love. And probably you did too. I'm kind of sure that you are not accidentally sitting here and watching this webinar with me. Okay, let's go to the next myth. And we're going to the next myth, which is this. I'm not religious, so meditation is not my cup of tea. And I am religious, so meditation is not my cup of tea. So let me tell you something. I started my meditation as being a Muslim, as being in the Islam religion. My first, maybe it's coincidence or not, my first meditation teacher was Nurbekov. He is a Sufi. He's from Uzbekistan, and at that time he didn't call his meditations because he knew that if he calls meditation, a lot of people will just not come, because meditation was not popular at that time. I mean, it is getting more and more popular right now. But at that time, it was kind of a nonsense word. So, even though he was a Sufi, he was not talking about religion to us. And it never offended any of my religious feelings at that time. So then afterwards, I went through all sort of breakthroughs and breakdowns in terms of searching for my religion. And when I found out that all religions are actually one, and it's love for God, it doesn't matter what is your religion, then I realized that meditation is actually part of everything. It's part of life, so it got nothing to do with religion. You can be a Catholic, you can be a Protestant, you can be a Jew, you can be Sufi, you can be Muslim, you can be atheist, you can be agnostic, you can be anybody. But meditation is a natural part of our life. I mean, children, you just look at them. They are constantly in the moment. Children are always meditating, and being in the moment is meditation. So it was our natural state, but we forgot about it when we became older. So that's the disease of us being adults. We forgot what it's like to be meditative 24/7. So if you feel that it will somehow hurt your religious feelings, don't worry about it. Meditations can be Tibetan, can be Sufi, can be so different. And what do you think prayer is? A prayer is also a meditation. So maybe that technique can be your type of technique that you can practice, or you practice already on a daily basis, you know? So meditation cannot be not your cup of tea, because like saying meditation is not my cup of tea is like saying love is not my cup of tea, happiness is not my cup of tea. You know, I don't want to be healthy, so please don't bring meditation into my life. So this is just like that. So just contemplate on it. And all I'm saying is try it. Okay, now I'm canceling this. Don't try it. Do it at least once. But make sure you choose the technique that is yours, that fits your life right now. that fits your intention right now, that fits your purpose right now, because that is important. And I'm going to be talking about it probably in the next myth or the next after that, okay? So please bear with me. And the next myth is, I want to be successful, happy in my relationships, healthy and wealthy. Meditation does not say about that. This one is really funny because meditation says all about that. Because meditation is all about that. Meditation, as I said before, for the sake of meditation does not make sense. Meditation we need in our life in order to be healthy, in order to be wealthy, in order to have successful relationships, in order to be fulfilled in every single aspect of our life. Otherwise, you don't need to meditate. It's like, why do you drink tea? You don't drink tea for the sake of tea. You drink tea to nourish yourself, right? So why do you drive a car? You don't drive a car for the sake of driving a car, mostly. You drive a car because you want to reach from point A to point B, right? And then from point B to point C. Or you drive a car because you like this feeling of freedom that comes along with it. So why we do meditation? Because we need to nourish ourselves, because we need to heal ourselves, because we want to find our path to happiness, because we want to be healthy, financially secure, because we want to know how to become financially secure. And guess what? Meditation can show you the way, because meditation, I mean, it does so many things. It clears your mind. It shows you insights in all the areas of your life. It relieves you from the stress. It makes your relationships so much better. I mean, I know personally so many couples where meditation saved their relationship. And a lot of times it's like one partner is meditating, another one is not. And even that saves the relationship. So I'm not saying that you have to force immediately for your partner to meditate. No. As Gandhi said this phrase that became really cliche, but it is cliche because it has been repeated a million times, right? So become the change that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see. So if you want your partner to change, you start that. Don't force your partner, because he's going to hate meditation. If you're going to be forcing him to meditate or her to meditate, they're going to hate you for that. Believe me, I've been on that road. Because when I first learned about human design, oh gosh, I was forcing it upon everybody. Only when I became a professional specialist in that, only then I took many, many steps back and I started listening if this is what the person wants. So if your partner asks you to teach him or her meditation, that's another thing. But saying, look, I know what's your problem. I see that and I want to help you to solve it, you know? Don't do this, please. Don't try to save the world. Don't try to save your partner. Just save yourself, because you already given the world less job to do. If you save yourself, it's like you've done everything there is to do. So save yourself. Do meditation yourself. And just watch for yourself what happens in your life. Okay? And now we're going to go to the next last myth. And then afterwards, we're going to do meditation, as I promised. And the last myth is, I cannot meditate. Whenever I tried, my back was killing me and my thoughts were killing me. And sitting in the lotus pose is just not for me. It's too difficult. So if you found yourself saying this or thinking this, I'm going to give you some good news. So if this is you and you are sitting in the lotus pose and you think that this is all what meditation is all about, my good news is that it's not. It's not what this is all about. There are thousands and millions of different meditation techniques. You probably know a lot of them, but you never thought that this is meditation. Because what meditation basically is, meditation is you being here and now. Meditation is awareness, being aware of every single moment. Meditation is being a witness and looking at yourself and everything that you do as from a witness perspective. Meditation is enjoyment. When you are fully doing one activity at a time without thinking about anything else. So what you need to do, what everybody, each of us need to do, we need to choose the technique that works for us. That's the only thing. And there are millions of techniques. And according to human design, sometimes I look at the chart and I can say which techniques can be really difficult for you and which technique is really good for you. Because, I mean, you cannot force a racing horse to become a tortoise, or you cannot a tortoise make a racing horse, right? Everybody has their own personality, their own identity. And sometimes we feel very emotionally agitated. So when we're emotionally agitated, for example, to sit down in a lotus pose, obviously we'll not be able to do it. And obviously we'll say, I tried and it didn't work, right? If we go back to that myth. Because when your emotions are all boiling, you need to let go of these emotions. So you need to choose the technique that works for you at that moment. And this is what we're going to do in Meditation Challenge, which I will tell you all about later on. Because you need to try different kinds of techniques and choose what works for you at different points in your life. Otherwise, again, it becomes a meditation for meditation's sake, and some people just started hating meditation because they went to Vipassana for 10 days, for example, and where they had to be silent for 10 days, and they ran away after the day number 1, and they said, I'll never meditate again because it drove me crazy. And if I look at this person's chart, for example, or if I just have a chat with him, I'll understand why, and you'll understand why. I mean, you don't need to be a human design specialist to know that this type of meditation did not suit them. They had to choose something of their own. So that's why recommendations, when it comes to recommendations of what kind of meditation technique is good for you, I always say practice. Yes, I do teach it in my courses, and I do teach it when I do human design readings. But I also tell you, practice yourself, learn different techniques and practice them. And you will know which ones suit you, which one don't. Because, I mean, the idea of all these techniques, the idea of all the teachings is not for you to follow the certain teacher and always go back to this teacher. But the idea is to open this teacher in you. Because once you open the teacher in you, you will always know which technique is good for you, when it is not good for you, when it is enough and when it is not enough. You will always know what is the truth and what is not. So that's the idea. And I remember about this, my back was killing me. I just wanted to share one story with you. I was in the Osho International Resort in Pune, in India. And I went, it was probably my 3rd day or something, and I went to this meditation, Laughing Drums. And I had no idea what this meditation is all about. And my back was killing me for the last 2 weeks. I couldn't really, I was walking like this and I couldn't really bend. I was really, really hurt in my back. And guess what? I came to the meditation and I find out that it's an active technique. But during that meditation, something happened to me. I had an epiphany, or you can call it any way you like. In probably 10 minutes after this meditation started, I was flying all over the meditation pyramid, jumping up and down because it was a part of technique. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how my back got cured, but it was completely cured in those 10 minutes. And for 2 weeks, I was sick. I was really barely walking. And actually, after that meditation, I had a vision when my name came to me, Amara. That's when I became Amara and decided to take Osho Sannyas. And I had no idea what it means. Later on, I found out, and how it changed my life. That's a different story. So, by the way, this Laughing Drum meditation is one of the techniques that we're going to do during the meditation challenge. Okay? And probably, I think you're already ready to do the meditation technique. What do you think? Let me just see how we can start. Please bear with me. And right now, we're going to do meditation technique, which is called breathing into your third eye. So this is a meditation that came all the way from ancient Greece. And the first one who actually spread it all over ancient Greece was Pythagoras, the ancient philosopher, mathematician, and mystic. So right now you can just close your eyes and listen a little bit. What is this meditation all about? So we're going to be breathing through our third eye. And our third eye is an area a little bit above the area between your eyebrows. You know, whenever we pay attention to our third eye, it becomes a magnet which attracts food, you know, and because our third eye is kind of hungry, they say. It's hungry and it needs our attention. So what is the third eye all about? It's all about our intuition. It's all about our insights. It's our inner guru. It's our inner teacher. It's the seer who sees everything and who feels everything. So it's a very easy technique. It will take you 5 minutes, and at least 5 minutes. In the future, you can choose anytime you want. But right now, we're going to just do it for a couple of minutes, okay? So close your eyes. Make yourself comfortable. Make sure that your spine is straight, your back is straight. Now, pay your internal attention on the spot which is a little bit higher in between your eyebrows. This is where our sixth chakra is, the place which we call our third eye. Now start consciously breathing through this third eye. You can imagine as if your third eye has a nose which is breathing, or you don't have to imagine it. Just consciously breathe in through this spot and out. In and out. And just feel how the oxygen is going into that spot and how it is coming out. With each inhale, it is going in. With each exhale, it is going out. Maybe you will feel some kind of vibration in that place. Maybe it will be tingling, maybe it will be scratching. But maybe you will not feel anything. It is okay. Everything is okay. Just keep breathing like this. Breathing in and out. In and out. Don't expect anything from this practice. Everything will happen on its own. Just be open to it. Just keep breathing like that as much as you can. And if there are some thoughts coming to your head, don't judge yourself. Don't scold yourself. Don't think that meditation didn't work. Just softly bring back your attention to the area between your eyebrows and to your breathing. And just keep breathing like that. In and out. In and out. Again, if your thoughts make you wander, bring softly your attention back to your eyebrows, to your third eye. Breathe in and out. In and out. Just keep breathing like this. Breathe in and out. You can do this meditation for at least 5 minutes. You can put on the alarm clock. Or you can just let the timing do its own thing. And whenever you're ready, you can come out of this meditation. Because you can sit like this from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, 1 hour, it doesn't matter. And if you feel that this meditation works for you, if you feel after you do this, that this is something that you would like to do again, or this is something that you would like to try again, do it for a little bit more time. Maybe one day you do for 5 minutes, then the next day you do for 2 minutes more, like 7 minutes, etc. So just keep breathing in and out. In and out. Very good. And now I just want you to come back and open your eyes. And I know that it is not enough. We've just done probably a couple of minutes. But I would like you to do it in your own time when you feel, maybe after you shut down the video, maybe you can just sit down without the computer and do it, because it's worth it. And right now, before we say goodbye, I would like to tell you about the meditation challenge that we are doing very soon. Let me just find this for you. So for 21 days, we're going to meditate. Every day it will be a new technique. So 21 days, 21 meditations and awareness techniques. You're gonna learn a lot. It's not an online training where I'll be explaining whys and bolts and these and that. Not this time. This is a challenge where I will be explaining the technique. Even if you're a newbie, it will still fit you. I will be explaining the technique. I'll be answering your questions on a daily basis if you'll have some questions, and you will be practicing. So some practices will take you 5 minutes, some practices will take you 1 hour, but 1 hour is the most. So don't tell me you're too busy to find time for yourself. And it would really, really be great to have you on board. So you can register right now. Go on my website, humandesignU.com/now/meditation. This, I don't know how you call it in English, challenge. So there you can read all the details about meditation challenge. I put together a Q&A questions that I might anticipate from you. And just, if you're ready, shoot me an email at contact@humandesignU.com. You can just write a sentence, I want to participate in meditation challenge, and I'll take it from there. So we start on the 3rd of December and we finish on the 23rd, right before Christmas. So you'll have 21 tools for every single purpose of your life. It will be for harmonizing relationship with your parents, healing childhood traumas, releasing the stress, becoming more healthy, becoming more energetic, releasing emotions in a healthy way, and going into the past lives, even if you don't believe in it, and learning the technique which a lot of famous people do, and many others. So 21 techniques. So I really, really hope to have you on board, guys. Thank you very much for listening to this, for staying with me, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.